Hi, I wanted to have a bit of a tricky conversation, really. A very triggering conversation. And where to start? Wow. Well, let's start with I, because that's the ego, right? Me. So we can all come from our ego, but when you are working in the spiritual realms, in the energetic realms, it's a dicey one. It's a razor's edge. And we need a certain amount of ego in order to function in this world, because we are solid, we are matter, and we matter. But it's such a fine line, especially when you're working in the spiritual realms. Now, just so you're aware, I have come into this world seeing spirit. I have been doing readings since I was a teenager. I'm 48 now. I've done a huge amount of training. And some people are like, oh, you don't need a certificate. Well, you do. You do. You need training. I've had many lifetimes, believe me. Believe me, I've released a lot of pain from those lifetimes. I've had many lifetimes of this work. But, you know, we're still coming into this earth plane with memories erased and trying to remember and trying to piece back ourselves together, because that's the nature of the earth. So you do need training. I've done years and years of training. And I've struggled with my ego on both sides. You know, thinking I'm really special, and then thinking that I'm not good enough. And it's a really tough one. You know, I've wanted to come out and do more and more videos and more, just for the pure fact, let's look at the bottom of this. The reason for me doing what I do is truly, and I put myself and my family last. I mean, my very immediate family, my husband and my son. I've always put others first, always, before myself, before my immediate family, because fundamentally I believe that I am here to help humanity, to make the world a better place. I really, truly believe it. Someone once said to me about what I do being my hobby, which made me chuckle inside and made me a little bit annoyed. But it's not a hobby for me. This is very much who I am. It's not what I do. And I understand people that, you know, go through awakenings. We all go through stuff to expand and to grow. And I understand people that go through awakenings at various points and like, wow, this other world, you know, they're seeing more, and you get so excited by it, and you can then fall into a bit of a trap of I'm so amazing and I'm so special and look at me. I am seeing a lot of ego lately, and I can't handle it. And then I look at myself and I think, I'm not going to do a video today. I'm going to have a break for weeks or months, because I don't want to add to the noise, because it's a cacophony of noise about me, look at me, I'm so spiritual. Oh man, the spiritual world, the people that work in the spiritual world and the energetics drives me nuts. And that is why I've generally always worked on my own. So, you know, people talk about their tribe and this and that. I've got my tribe and my people that I've had in my life forever, you know. God, it is really exhausting. And then I take a good look at myself. I have to do this. I have to talk about myself when I'm talking about ego. I saw something recently. It makes me want to turn off of social media and everything and just disappear, you know, because that's the ultimate goal. Look at all the green coming then and the change in light. But the ultimate goal is oneness, is to disappear into oneness. Oh God, I could have so many conversations here about passing over and all of that as well. My goodness. But I saw a post the other day of someone in the spiritual world talking about an injectable medication. And I'm not talking about the vaccines. That word will probably trigger something. Anyway, and I saw about an injectable medication. Now let's do this. Let's do this. About weight loss medication, and all you need to do is eat healthily and lose weight and blah blah blah, nutrition. Yeah, that's absolutely true, to an extent. because there's other things that go along with that. Many, many other layers. But I thought, wow, that's not good. That is not good. There's so much judgment as well with the ego at the minute. So much judgment. And I thought, have you ever been in those shoes? Have you ever been an addict? Have you ever been morbidly obese? Have you ever been at the point where you're so low? The judgment's awful. You know, it's like people maybe in the spiritual world that have been like, I've never had to take a drug. I'm so clean. I'm so pure. Brilliant. That's great. I commend that. It's fantastic. But often to help people in healing, you've got to have been to the darkest places. You know, not that everyone has to be an addict, but if you want to help addicts, it's probably best that you have been an addict and been there and know how to get out of it. It's like so many people. I've had someone say to me in the past, it kind of scares me what you do. And I'm like, really? Okay. I mean, I'm really, if you know me, I'm the most unscary person, I think. I come from a place of love. But I get it, you know, I've dealt with hauntings since I was little. I came in seeing spirit and all I dealt with was hauntings. Shadows following me and oh my God, it was tough. So I get it, but I know how to handle that now because I've had a lifetime of it, or many. But, you know, the people out there that have found themselves spiritually, which is amazing because that's beautiful, and that are scared of the dark, there's a problem. There's a big, big problem. If you are in the spiritual world and helping other people and you're scared of the darkness and you're scared of the let's call it the devil because that's what people know. If you're scared of that, there's a problem. There's stuff you've not dealt with. And it's healthy to have a certain amount of respect because we're all made of dark and light. But if you are spouting love and light and pretending to know it all, then you need to have a look at yourself. I know this video is going to be super triggering, and that's all right. That's one of my jobs. Yeah, but I can see so much of it. You know, people saying I'm a healer, I'm this and I'm that, and they're not healed themselves. And you don't have to be healed. I'm a healer. I'm not completely healed. When are we ever really healed on this earth plane? But you know, there's people out there that have done no trainings and things like that, and pronouncing to be all these things, and I just think it's really dangerous. So I just think it's really important to step back and look inside and take a good look at yourself and stop being judgmental. I can do it. I can absolutely do it. You know, I was really vocal about all the whole convid stuff, and I'm trying to be careful with the words because of triggering social media, and about the you know, I was very vocal about that. And it wasn't vocal as in, listen, when I meet people and loved ones have had it, you know, I wouldn't put them down. I say to them, you do what you need to do. You've got to make your own decision. You know, I'm really respectful in that way. I say what I think because it's my personal view and I'm allowed to have it, but I won't put someone down or whatever. When I'm talking to somebody, I have my own views and they're strong. But during that, I was super vocal because it was going to affect us as a whole, and they wanted to use it, like telling you it was mandatory, you know, and I was like, whoa, you know, this is not going to take away our freedoms. They're doing it with digital ID, aren't they? And I'll be vocal about that kind of thing, because when it gets to the point where they're trying to control the masses and trying to trap us and imprison us, then, or trying to depopulate, then I'll say something. But in regards to people taking HRT or people taking a weight loss injection or people taking whatever, you know, that's up to them. Who is anyone to tell anyone else what to do? No one knows anyone's individual paths. No one knows everything that goes on behind something. And actually, there's benefits to these things, you know. I was a nurse for 18 years, just so you know. And I saw a lot. I went through a lot. But I'm such an all or nothing person, and I have been. I'm trying to maintain some balance. And what am I saying? I don't want to lose my thread. Yeah, when you kind of awaken, I hate that word as well. But when my vision expanded and I saw a little bit more, years and years and years ago, I mean, I've never been a fan of the old, you know, and I'm not talking about the 2021, I'm talking about all of them. I didn't get my son jabbed. It just didn't sit right with me. I did lots of research anyway as well. But I was such a purist against all medication, against all, you know, I'm not anymore. I'm not a purist, because it's healthy to have balance. And sometimes, you know, you need something. You have to make a decision and a choice for yourself. So this video is just to get that out of myself. So if it triggers you, good. I think something triggered me to have this conversation. But there's so much ego out there. And there's so much judgment, you know? And people coming from a place of light and love and fluffiness. And I just think, well, stop it. Please stop it. Anyway, I'm going to post this. Actually, I thought, I'm just going to record this video. Look at that light. I'm just going to record this video to get it off my chest, because it's been sitting with me for weeks. Many people, I keep seeing one after the other. Look at me, you know, I'm so spiritual. It drives me nuts. I went out for an evening with my best mate, and someone introduced me to someone, and someone come up to me and went, I'm so spiritual too. And I was like, oh God. You know, anyway, I'm going because I'm going to start to offend. Anyway, I'm always going to be real. You're always going to get real with me, and that's just the way it is. So let's see what occurs. I just thought I'm going to put this out there. And please don't get me wrong, I don't do this to upset. I really don't. I just think we sometimes need to take a good look at ourselves, and I'm constantly doing that. I don't always get it right. I do not always get it right. And when I catch myself judging, which I have with this, you know, I stand back and I have a really good look and have a really good think. But I think this just needs to be said. You know, I was on a thing last weekend, and this guy, incredible guy, very knowledgeable, said, oh, I've been really watching stuff about Native Americans and the Navajo tribe and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, it's fascinating, isn't it? I said, I don't know too much about these tribes. I said, but from what I know, I said, my gosh, they were quite dark. They were violent. Various tribes were different. But God, they were serious business. The darkness they created and conjured, and is still roaming the earth. You know, I've been to America a couple of times, and it's hard to walk upon the earth there. In many places, many of the populated places, very difficult. And he chuckled and he said, I know. And you have all these New Age spiritual people saying, oh, I have a Native American guide, you know, and I think you haven't. You haven't, because you're too light and fluffy. You're not aware of any of the darkness there, or you might have an attachment maybe. But this is what I'm saying. It's like people having a read of something or latching onto something and thinking it's the truth. What I'm going to finish with here is you're not going to find truth outside of yourself. You're not going to find truth in scripture, because it's so bastardized. It's so messed with. It's so contorted. You're not going to find truth out there. You'll find snippets here and there that will trigger you to do your journey, which is beautiful. And I love reading. God, I love reading. But the real truth is in here, and it's you got to be able to go in the dark spaces. You got to be able to go in the void. You got to be able to go through the hell. You got to be able to do it in order to find the light. I could get really emotional here. Whew. So I just think honest conversations need to be had, and people just need to have a really good look at themselves before they look outside themselves and judge other people. So I'm going to leave that there and send you tons of love, and I'll speak to you really soon. Take care. Bye.